So you've got $50 in your trading account to trade with, and depending on how well you've managed to convince your friends to get on board, you may have gotten yourself some juicy referral bonuses and could be trading with $100 plus. How good?
Even more depending on how many friends you've got.
Even more. You could be on your way to New York. So one of the recurring sets of questions that we get from our listeners on the podcast is, how much should I be buying and how do I know when to buy, or is it time to sell? Now, these questions don't have a straightforward answer and they're not black and white, but it all depends on your goals, your investing strategy, and also the market conditions. However, there are a few tips that we can give you to help you make these decisions. At the end of the day, no one can tell you the right answer. It's up to you to decide. There's no reason you can't experiment with different strategies. So here's a few to get you thinking.
So if we start with how do you know when to buy, the most important thing to keep in mind for this competition is you've only got 6 weeks. So you don't have a lot of time and the conditions may not be perfect. So one place to start is you can look at charts. If a chart looks good, if you've listened to our video or our podcast with Matt, if the chart is looking like bottom left to top right, that's a good time to buy. The momentum is with that stock, the company's doing something right, and you've only got 6 weeks, that might be a time to jump in.
Absolutely.
And in 6 weeks, hesitation can kill. Because if you pick a winner, but you pick it in week 3, you might not have enough time to really see that money come in to beat someone who picked a worse stock but had 6 weeks of gains with it.
Which has happened to us in the trading competition.
Yeah.
We got burnt. We didn't act quick enough.
Yes.
So that's the first thing. The next part is to form an investing thesis and then find companies that match that thesis and then buy them. For example, you might read that the price of oil is tipped to rise over the next couple of months. This will impact favorably on oil companies. So find some that you might like or may have heard of before, or find an ETF that may follow the price of oil and jump in. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Now, if you can't come up with an investing thesis yourself, that's fine. Find someone who knows more than you and follow them. Buy when they buy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this. Investing gives 0 points for originality. Make sure if you're going to follow someone, you know why they made that decision and you know what conditions they're going to sell. Because if you follow them in to buy and then they change their mind and sell, you might not know that they've sold and you might be left holding the bag. If you can't find anyone to follow Equity Mates on social media. We're going to be pretty active during the competition. We're going to be talking about things that are happening in the market. Yeah. So if you jump on our website, our podcast, or our Instagram, you might get a good idea from us.
Absolutely.
Amongst a sea of bad ones.
So then the third reason for buying, knowing when to buy, is just to back yourself. Listen to your gut. It may sound cliche, but sometimes your gut knows best. If it says buy, then give it a shot. Your downside's limited, but your upside is unlimited. This isn't the best strategy for your overall investing strategy, as some thought should go into your choices. But, sometimes you've just got to listen to your gut.
That is correct.
So what about selling, Ren? How do I know when to sell?
Well, it might sound straightforward, but if the stock is going poorly, sell it. You got 6 weeks, you don't have time to hold on to losers. So some ways that you can figure out that the stock isn't doing well, the chart is going down, top left to bottom right. Anything else?
Price is going down, high volumes when price is going down.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're right, when the chart's going down. If the company no longer falls into your thesis that you developed, or your thesis becomes no longer valid, i.e. your oil might now be projected to be going down in price, impacting the companies you bought into, then it's time to consider selling.
And then finally, if the trader you're following sells, then maybe you should be selling as well.
Absolutely. So that's how to know when to buy and sell, Ren. The next question we always get is, how much do I buy and how much do I sell? So how much can I buy? One thing you can do is go ham, hard as a mofo, and that is going all in, back one company, listen to your gut, and hope for the best. You may get amazing returns, you may lose it all. Hopefully you've got some stop losses and can cut your losses quickly, but that is one strategy of working out how much to buy.
Yeah, when we interviewed Chris Bricky, who won the ASX share market game 3 times, that was his strategy. He backed one company, went all in, and sometimes it tanked and he didn't win, but he did win it 3 times. So potentially that's your strategy for the next 6 weeks. Another strategy, it can be to diversify,
Yeah.
to buy a bunch of different companies to spread out the risk. Also, maybe minimize the returns a little bit, but it's a bit of a safer option.
Yeah. So what we mean by that is, you say if you have $50, you could put 25 in one, 25 in another. Stake allows you to buy a minimum $10, so you could do 5 lots of 10 across 5 different companies if you wanted to do that. That's a great way of diversifying. Another way is to use some of your cash, buy some now, hold your cash, save some for later. This way it means if you have opportunity popping up down the track, you don't have to wait for your sale to come through and for your cash to balance, and you can essentially take the opportunity while it's there.
Yeah.
So how do I know when to sell, Ren?
Well, in 6 weeks, you might not need to sell. You might hit the nail on the head the first time.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you can sell it all, sit, reassess, and then go again.
Yeah.
Or you might want to start averaging out of a position. So you could maybe sell 50% and keep the rest in just in case. And if it keeps going badly, take another 25% out and then take the remainder out.
Yeah.
So in 6 weeks, knowing when to sell, you don't have a lot of time.
No.
So you probably don't want to stick around in a losing stock for too long, because there's an opportunity cost by staying in a loser. You want to get in a winner. You want to get in a winner as soon as possible, and you want to ride that
Absolutely.
to New York.
To New York. If you've taken the diversify approach, one of your stocks may be going up, the other may be going down. That's a good reason, and for you to sell as well, cut your losses there.
Yeah.
So we hope we've been able to help you understand how to know when to buy, how to know when to sell, and also how much you should be buying and selling at one time. Any questions, hit us up on our social media pages or hello@hellostake.com.au. Thank you.